How did you go from idea to action, even at such a young age?
So my first internship was with Will Smith's production company,
How?
Overbrook Entertainment.
Why? When? So LA is crazy. So everybody lives with each other. You get punched in the face from time to time, but you make it through. So you're now working for BET Entertainment.
Exactly.
So let's speak. How did you get to the Issa Rae? How did you end up working with her?
That wasn't a word of mouth. That was like off of straight skill.
What's up, everybody? We are back again with another episode of The Journey to Freedom. I got to look at my notes today because we have a special guest in the building, multi-talented. I mean, this guy that you're about to hear from, he's done a lot with filmmaking, including The Mecca, which is a coming-of-age story about HBCU. It's comedic. It's very fun. He also has a movie on Tubi, Doing It Wrong, which he did many, many years ago, which he'll tell us about. He's worked with the likes of Issa Rae. He's been in Hollywood. He's now based in Charlotte. He's very passionate about, storytellers and filmmakers and just the ability for people, no matter where they are, they don't have to be in the major cities to actually unlock their full creativity. So, again, filmmaker, visual artist, and comedian. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tevin Scott. What's up, Tevin?
Thank you for having me. That was a great intro, by the way. That was the best way anybody's ever introduced me on a podcast, So I appreciate you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm really impressed with your resume and what you've done. I don't even know what to get to first. I guess tell us about the Tubi thing.
The Tubi movie. Yeah, that's a great place to start because that's like the earliest work I have, on record right now. So I have a movie on Tubi. It's called Doing It Wrong.
Okay.
I produced this as a college student. I was a junior in college at Howard University. I made this web series. It was like an 8-part web series. Each episode had like a cliffhanger at the end.
Wow.
And at the time, I was working with this platform, this web series company called Black and Sexy TV.
Oh.
They actually were, in that back around in that web series renaissance when like Awkward Black or Issa Rae, like all the different channels. They actually worked with Issa Rae as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they were really great, and they I got an internship with them, and so I basically sent them an episode of it when I was a junior in college. They loved it. They was like, "Oh, let's put this on our network."
Really?
And I was like, "Cool." And then so it ended up being on their platform for like many years, and then about 3 years ago, they started putting a lot of their content on Tubi. And so what they told me they were going to do, they were going to put all 8 episodes together and package as a movie. So basically get rid of the credits and the cliffhangers and just let it run straight through. And when you do that, it's like, oh, it's an hour and a half. So it's a movie.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, oh, wow, I guess I do have a movie now. And it's on Tubi right now. Please stream that. We do get, returns from that quarterly. So keep streaming that up. I'm very proud of it. I think it's like a very, people like to rag on Tubi a lot. They say like Tubi's like the ghetto platform, but this is a pretty good Tubi movie, especially to be done by students. I shot it myself. Like I was the DP of that project.
What does DP mean?
Director of photography. So I was actually, controlling the camera and doing all of that. I directed and wrote the whole and edited the whole thing. And we had some amazing actors who are still great friends today and I still work with today. So
Wow.
I'm very proud of that. So please, go stream that.
That's crazy. So go stream Doing It Wrong
on Tubi. Doing It Wrong on Tubi. Yeah, it was great series.
So we
About
have
college relationships and dating and situationships.
Oh, wow. Well, that's definitely always a thing, no matter how old you are.
Right. I'm noticing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is really cool, though. You actually did a thing. Like, you got so many people have ideas. Me personally, I've had this idea for forever about, hey, we're gonna write this movie, we're gonna do this, but I've never actually done it. It's still in idea form. How did you go from idea to action, even at such a young age?
Well, I think it really started in high school.
Okay.
So we're going to story time now. So my original dream, I wanted to go to the NBA.
Oh, okay, me too.
Yeah, I wanted to go to the NBA. I had hoop dreams. And I stopped growing. And my backup plan, I was going to be a broadcast journalist. I thought I was going to be like Stephen A. Smith. That's my background, my backup plan. And so my high school had this college cluster program where you had like little majors. So I was like a broadcast journalist major or whatever. And so I was like on the school news team. And then but then I was starting to realize like the news package and stuff, it was kind of boring. I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
So then our teacher, she assigned us this creative assignment. She basically was like, everybody's going to do a creative video project. And, you know, the best project, we're going to air it on the school news. So I just had this idea and I made it. And it was like a little funny little, it was like a comedy, sci-fi thriller type of film.
Yeah.
And it, you know, was really good. And then she put it on the school news, and then everybody started watching it on.
So it was audio, like or you actually filmed it?
We filmed it. So our school, we had little video cameras and editing software and tools and stuff. We didn't have no audio. It was really poorly made. It was like, but it was like, you know, for the time and what it was like, oh, you told a story from beginning, middle, end, and it was, you know, pretty good. And then she put it on the school news. And then it would like air on the school news. Everybody's watching in high school. And then I come out of class. Everybody, oh, that was dope. That was funny. That was cool.
Yeah.
I just like that feeling of people like, you know, connecting with the story I was trying to tell and like, you know, just being entertained by it.
Yeah.
And then that actually started to become a thing. So like we started making more of those. And then I just kept making a few more videos on the school news. And then
now, when you say it was poorly made, is that a necessary starting point, you think, for almost everybody?
Everything is going to suck at first. It's going to suck. So you just have to get through those. And that's the thing. But back then, I guess I've always just been an optimist. I never really think about it going to be bad. I just do it.
Yeah.
And so at the time, I thought it was great. I'm speaking as an experienced filmmaker now. I'm like, yeah, this is horrible. But for a 15-year-old who just picked up a camera, you were able to tell it. Actually, sometimes I go down memory lane and go, because I have all those high school videos I made on my laptop. I'll go watch. I'm like, yo, I really didn't have it all together, but you could tell that I was figuring it out. So you just got to jump in and do it. And that's kind of been my thing now. Like, I literally do that with everything. I don't sometimes I do it like naively, but now I'm realizing you just got to do it. So like, even like me moving to LA, I moved out to LA, bought a one-way ticket right after graduation.
Wow.
I had nothing set up. And
wow. Okay. Wait. Before we get into that,
skipped a lot right there. Yeah.
But okay, so go back. Where are you from?
I'm from Charleston, South Carolina originally.
Okay, so Charleston, is that a very creative town? Were your parents super creative? Like, who put this in your genes to be like, I'm just going to do stuff even if it's not great right out the gate?
That's a good. I don't know. I mean, yeah, my parents are very interesting. They are the creative in the sense of they always created a way to make things happen.
Yeah.
We weren't well off. We weren't poor. We were, just middle
Black
class.
folks then had to be creative.
Just have the creative to figure out, make do. And yeah, I mean, my dad's really crafty. He would do like, upholstery and stuff and just build. He's a builder. He creates stuff. So I guess I'll get a lot of that from my dad.
You got brothers and sisters?
I do have brothers and sisters. So I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters.
Okay.
But that's the thing. I have a really complicated story. Like, I'm an only child, but I got 5 siblings.
Whoa. How does that work? Yeah.
So I'm the only kid that my mom and dad had together.
Okay.
My mom has an older boy.
Okay.
So I'm the youngest. I'm her youngest.
Oh.
And then I'm the middle child of my dad's kids.
Oh, okay.
So we have like a blended family, but like I kind of would say I most identify with the only child or the youngest child experience, because basically I was the youngest in the house until like 6th grade. 6th grade I was like the only one in the house. I moved off to college, and now the family's getting bigger. So yeah.
So okay, I ask people this all the time: nature or nurture? So was this nurtured in you to be this way, or do you think you've just always been like this?
I would say I think it would start off as nature, but then I put myself in situations that nurtured me. And I would say Howard University is the place that really nurtured that the most. Because like in high school when I was making the videos, I would
Wait, am I supposed to say HU when you say that?
If you want to.
Okay.
You HU,
Sorry.
Did you go to HBCU?
I didn't.
Where'd you go?
PWI. I went to Purdue University, did graduate school at Ball State. So
yeah.
A bunch of PWI. I almost went to HBCU. I wanted to go to Clark Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah, okay. I went on a tour, and I'm pretty sure we went to Howard. I can't remember who. Did we go to Howard? We went on an HBC tour. And I think there's Savannah State. There's a bunch of HBCUs in the South. Mm-hmm. And I remember going on a tour. I went to Clark Atlanta. I'm like, this is the one I want to go to.
Right.
Never ended up happening.
Gotcha. It's so crazy because I almost didn't go to Howard, which would have been the worst thing ever. Like I wasn't even thinking about going to a HBCU.
Was your school predominantly, like your high school, predominantly black?
High school was predominantly white.
Okay.
Freshman year I went to a predominantly white prep school.
Okay.
And I was the only black guy in the freshman class.
Wow.
And then I transferred to James Island Charter High School, which is it's like 60-40, 60% white, 40%. It's kind of diverse, but I was in like all honors and AP classes, so like I would be like, it was like 2 or 3 black kids in the class with all white kids. So very, very much I come from a PWI background.
Right.
There was nothing, pushing me to go to HBCU and not really people doing that.
Yeah.
But really what happened was so I wanted to go to USC in California.
Yes.
That was too expensive.
Because of the filmmaking? That was pushing you a little bit? Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to go there. And then I also wanted to go to Georgia State in Atlanta. So basically I was like, California's too far. I'm gonna go to Atlanta. Filmmaking, is starting to pop out there.
Yeah.
I applied to Georgia State, got a scholarship. I was already basically practically enrolled.
Yeah.
And Howard sent a letter in the mail saying that I qualified for a full tuition scholarship.
Really?
Yes. And I'm like, yeah, it was crazy. I was like, I had not even talked to them or nothing. It felt like I feel like it was like divine intervention. It was almost like it was meant to be. And then when my mama saw that, she was like, yeah, we're going there. Cause like it was much more money provided than what Georgia State was given. And so we went to the campus. I visited for Accepted Students Day. That was a very interesting time. And I was like, why was this hidden from me? Like it felt like magical just walking on that campus. And from there, it was like, yeah, I'm going to Howard. Like, this is where I'm going.
What was magical about it? All the black people?
All the black people, all the women. Like that's the thing, because I didn't, because there was like, I went to mostly white school. Like when I went to Howard, like I had never seen that many beautiful black women in my life. Like, it was like insane. Like, it was like, it's crazy. So it was like, wonderful. And then just the culture.
Heaven. I
got family in DC.
Okay.
So it just felt like, okay, I still will have support out there. Yeah. And it just felt so historic. It just felt so timeless. The founders' libraries, like Howard University it's like a historical, landmark of a place. Mm-hmm. There's just something about the feeling, the energy in that campus, and the fact that the diversity of like it's kids from all over the country. Because like, you go like I was going to go to Georgia State. Most of those kids, they're from Georgia. Just different places from Georgia. Most colleges you go to is going to be populated with people from that area.
Right.
But this is like all the states, different countries. So it's like really like, I'm getting like, I didn't even know they had black people were over here. Like, it's like, there's a lot of different black people from all over the place. It's so diverse. And it was like a no-brainer from then.
Wow. It's funny because a lot of my friends who went to PWIs, well, some of them were like, they really regret not having gone to a HBCU. Mm-hmm. And so they'll bring it up sometimes. And I always like, big deal. But what would you say now if you got a young person out there listening, or you got a parent out there listening, trying to steer their kid on where they should go? What's your advice? HBCU, PWI, and why?
I think that's the thing. And I used to be on the like, every black person got to go to HBCU. But now I'm just thinking like, what is your kid's dream? What do they want to do?
Yeah.
And try to tailor it to that.
Okay.
Because I don't think HBCUs are for everybody. I don't think PWI is for everybody. Because like I have an amazing HBCU experience, but I know people who went to Howard with me who don't have the same experience. So it's really about what do you want to do in life? What's your dream? I mean, if you want to work in entertainment, and definitely I would say Howard is a great place for that. If you like black entertainment, you're going to, because we used to talk about the alumni, the connections, you're going to be able to, go to places like New York and California, and the alumni network is strong. So like entertainment, business for sure. I mean, actually, no, go to HBCU. That's not really, you actually,
wait a minute.
And even now, I was going to say maybe the only reason to go to PWI is probably for athletics.
Yeah.
But even now, I think we should probably, more kids should go to HBCUs. We should go to HBCUs and, build those programs. But I just think it's all about the unique experience. And then like today, I just feel like the society we live in, sometimes it feels to me, I'm not sure if like college is becoming kind of like not the same as it once was, especially like post-pandemic. So some people are even questioning, is college even needed?
Yeah. What's your thought on that?
I also think it depends on what you're trying to do. I personally think my college experience, I went to Howard for the experience. Like when I think about Howard, I don't even remember much of the classes. I don't remember the assignments or nothing.
Right.
I remember the life of being a student and the people I met. It was really about the experience and the culture more so than like the actual education. But if you're like, you obviously trying to do something like medical or being a doctor or something, definitely go to a program where they have great programs like that, which the HBCUs do that.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you on that piece. I always said it was the connections for me. So
right, it's the connections.
My group of Black friends, especially, because when you're 3% of a 40,000 student campus, you end up seeing and knowing all the Black people as well.
Right.
And it's diverse. I mean, in a sense, it's diverse. We had a few people from California, New York, different little places, but I think that was the biggest benefit. And so I encourage people to go to school. And because I also, part of our podcast and part of our kind of story is people kind of poo-poo or say, college isn't necessary or a job isn't necessary. And it's like, no, you can still use all those things and they can help propel you to your entrepreneurship or to your career or to your creativity. Like you can use your job to help fund your film or your thing. It's going to be harder because you got to work and then try to, manage two things. But so I'm a big proponent of like, yes, from 90% of people, you still need to go to school.
Right.
You still need to get a job.
I think what I would recommend, and I actually would recommend every Black kid at least consider going to HBCU. Go to HBCU undergrad, and then grad school. If you're going to be a doctor or something, then you can go to one of those elite, Ivy League or like those, other elite PWIs. But that undergrad, there's nothing like the undergrad experience.
Yeah.
And especially if you've been in, predominantly white high schools, you want to be around your people. You get to experience your people like any other, and you actually get to learn just how special you are. It's like the way that Howard molded me, I will not be the man I am today if I did not have those 4 years at Howard. So forever indebted for that.
Is Howard the best HBCU?
Yes,
on the
absolutely.
planet?
Absolutely.
What would be the second best HBCU?
I mean, I wouldn't know. I only matter about number one, but I would say I like A&T.
Okay.
Morehouse Spelman. I'll say Spelman's the second.
Okay.
People go back and forth, because when I was going to Howard, it was like Spelman was first. Like if you talk about like the U.S. ranking, Spelman was first, and then it was Howard.
Yeah,
I don't really think it mattered. But like if you go to Spelman, Morehouse, Howard, FAMU, A&T, Hampton. That's our Howard's rivals. Hampton. Those are like the best ones I would suppose. But there's nothing like Howard. I mean, it's just not even debatable. We're like the greatest. If Howard was like a sports franchise, we would be the greatest franchise. We got the most rings. We got the most, esteemed alumni.
Yeah.
And we just keep getting bigger.
What about the homecomings? Everybody talk about Howard.
Homecoming, without a doubt. I've only been to Howard homecoming.
Really?
I heard A&T has a great homecoming, but my homecomings at Howard were amazing.
Yeah.
My freshman year, that's the thing. Howard homecoming kind of changed throughout my time at Howard because of just how great it was. So my freshman year, 2 Chainz was the headliner at Yard Fest.
Yeah.
And he brought out Drake as a surprise.
Wow.
And this is like Drake fresh off of Take Care. Like this is Drake's like the best rapper in the world.
Right.
And everybody was stunned. I got trampled. I almost thought I was going to break my arm. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. It was insane.
Yeah.
And then Meek Mill comes out, T.I. comes. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. It felt like a whole festival at Howard. And after that, the next year, because of Drake coming that previous year, it got so crowded and packed. People were like having to jump over the gates and everything. And then they actually shut down Yard Fest the next year because of that.
It was just too much.
It was just too much. It just got too out of hand. And then they finally started to work it back, and now it's back to where it is now. It's kind of, more calm. But Howard, absolutely best homecoming.
The time was had. Okay, that's great. And were you academically, did you have some type of prowess academically that made you stand out?
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever figure out how you're a genius?
I mean, I have always fared well in the academics. I mean, that's how I got to Howard.
That's how you got the letter.
Academic scholarship.
You figured out how you got the letter later. Like, how did they get your name? You was killing it academically.
I absolutely have no idea, but I graduated.
Okay.
I had a 4.3 GPA in high school.
Oh, wow.
And I was like top 10 in my class.
Okay.
And
so you are a genius. Legit.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
You probably when you're a genius, I think most geniuses don't feel like a genius until you live long enough, and be like, okay, maybe I am slightly different.
I think
than
there's
others.
categories of genius. So I do realize there are like areas where I'm just not good at.
Yeah.
But I feel like when we talk about creativity and just like figuring stuff out, I know how to figure stuff out. Like, I don't have the answers to everything, but I know how to find the answer.
Okay.
And that's how I was always good at, just figuring stuff out. Like I'm really good at. Also, I was really good at cramming. So like if I need to pass this test, I'll figure out what I need to know for this test and then pass it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to where we at in the whole life story. So you do Howard, and let's get to LA. So what in the world would make somebody get a ticket out to a whole nother place? Did you know anybody out there?
Yeah, so what happened was junior year summer and sophomore year summer, I got internships. So my first internship was with Will Smith's production company, Overbrook Entertainment.
Why? When? Who'd you meet?
I just be reaching out to people. I think.
Okay, talk about this. You just be reaching out to people.
You just got to reach out to people. You just got to reach out to people.
So what, cold DMs?
Just cold DMs, like LinkedIn. So I found, basically you just find the things that you like and try to align yourself with that. And so I looked at one of my favorite movies, even to this day, is ATL.
Yeah.
Produced by Overbrook Entertainment, which was Will Smith's company. They're not called that anymore. I think
I never knew that.
Yeah. Will Smith produced ATL.
So you really should read the credits.
You should read the credits. Look at the companies. So I saw Overbrook Entertainment, and I actually had a friend who went to Howard. They had interned there, and so
how'd you find out about that? They was bragging about it.
They didn't brag about it. They just told me. I think I just passively saw it on their LinkedIns, and I asked them about it. And then they told me to reach out to this person, so I emailed that person and sent them like some of my film work. So I was making a lot of videos and films on campus. So they responded. They liked the work, and they was like, "Yo, you could do a development internship."
When was you finding time to make films on campus?
Well, that's all I did. I don't think I went to class. I think I was just making films and going to parties. That's all I did, Howard. Yeah. That's the thing. When I think about Howard right now, the classroom was very much a blur. I really just remember trying to make films and make stuff happen.
And go to parties.
When at Howard University is all about just kind of like making a name for yourself. Everybody has their thing that they do.
What you doing? Or
what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got to figure out what I'm gonna do. And that's the thing. When I first went to Howard, I wasn't like officially planted as a filmmaker yet. I came in as a pre-law major. I was going to just be like an entertainment lawyer. And I was like, I don't really like this coursework. This is not really. And I was like, I want to do what I want to do. And I switched to film. I made this film early on in campus that really took off, and like really people started talking about it. I was like, yeah, let me just be a film major and just plant myself into that. And so that's how I just I would make films every month basically at Howard. I would take the money from my refund checks to make films.
Yeah, see, I was buying cars that I couldn't afford.
Yeah. Everybody's buying clothes and, buying all bunch of stuff. I bought a camera. That's my first refund check. I bought my first camera. And actually, I think I bought a new camera every year to just get a better camera.
See, parents, tell your kids to not blow their refund check on clothes and cars.
I mean, you could do that too, but just budget it out. Like,
yeah, blow a little bit of it.
Yeah. I was getting a lot of polo back then, and Jordans. Got a lot of Jordans. But so the Overbrook Entertainment, they reached out to me, got the internship, and I was a development intern. That's basically you just read scripts, and you give feedback on them. Like,
does that suck?
No, it didn't. I love it. That's how you become a writer. That's the thing. I see myself as a writer first. And so that's how I really learned like the actual like story structure. And they actually taught me a lot about the story structure. Like there's like this is like a formula. There's like a formula to tell great stories.
Which is?
And I mean, everybody has their, like different studios have their own different formula, but it's really, I would say the main thing is you have to have a very interesting protagonist.
Protagonist means what?
The main character, the hero of the story. And take them on a journey where they have a clear goal, give the protagonist a clear goal, and give them insurmountable obstacles. And take them on a journey to get over those obstacles. That's basically like the basic 3 part of it. But like,
so most movies are a protagonist getting to a clear goal and facing obstacles.
There's the hero, they want something, this is their goal. but what's stopping them from getting that goal? And what are they going to do to get to that goal? And how are they going to be changed as a result of trying to get to that goal? And you can actually look at your life as a movie. Everybody's life is a movie.
Right.
And you figure out you're the protagonist of your own story.
Wow.
What's your goal? And what are the obstacles you've been through?
Wow.
And,
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's really good. Okay, so you work for Will Smith and did you ever see Will?
Yeah, actually, the funny story. I've never met Will Smith, but this is so crazy. So, can we profanity on this podcast?
Yeah. You
Okay,
can say what you
cool.
want.
So, Will Smith, I would have to run errands and stuff. One time, I actually had to go get some distilled water for Jaden Smith. That was crazy. I had to go to like 3 different grocery stores because they just didn't have the specific water brand that he had. It's actually funny. I think he has his own water now.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But basically,
I think it's called.
I had to take a shit. Right? I was in the bathroom. It's a very small bathroom.
Yeah.
And somebody comes in wearing Jordans. I'm like, first of all, who is this wearing Jordans? Nobody else in this office wears Jordans, right? And I didn't want to go out because, when you're taking a shit in the public bathroom, you don't want to, be seen. So I wait for them to leave. I walk out, and then all the interns are like, "Oh my gosh, did you see him? Did you meet him?" I was like, "Meet who?" Will Smith was just here. I was like, "Oh damn, no, I was taking a shit." So I never got to meet Will Smith, but we did use the bathroom together.
That's
He had on
hilarious.
some Air Jordan 3s.
That's
I remember it
crazy.
to this day.
Oh man, did you go looking for him after you left the restaurant?
He had actually left. I think he
just
just
left.
ran in and ran out. He had to do something. I don't know. But that was.
That's
I
hilarious.
never actually got to meet him.
That's pretty cool. So what was the next thing?
Next thing after that, so the next summer I interned for BET.
So how are you making money? Are they paying you at these internships?
No, this one was an unpaid internship.
Okay.
And
Will or BT?
The Will Smith one.
Okay, unpaid.
Unpaid
So
internship.
you got to be willing, if you're going to get into film.
You got to be willing to work for free at some point. At some point, you're going to work for free.
You think almost everybody that's really in film has that story.
Has worked for free. In this climate, that's crazy. I feel like that's even borderline unethical at this point.
Yeah.
But you got to work for free back then. So basically, I had a Howard alumni friend who was already living in LA.
Mm-hmm.
She let me stay with her. So I basically crashed on her couch for the whole summer. She lives deep in the valley. Overbrook Entertainment is on Sony Pictures lot, which is in Culver City. So that's like, I basically had to take 2 trains and 3 buses to get to work every day.
Every day.
Because
the valley is like inland more, right?
The valley it's like up. It's like north. So it's like super north of
like
LA.
Close to Burbank? Or?
Yeah, Burbank is considered the valley.
The valley.
So I was
okay.
basically like in this city called Van Nuys.
Yeah, Van Nuys Boulevard.
So the more north you get. And so I had to take 2 trains and 3 buses every day to get there. Was not getting paid. Now that I think about it, I'm like, how was I survive? I think my parents were sending me money every now and then.
What about the roommate? Was she tripping or was
No. She was amazing. Her name was Dot McDonald. She's actually in the Mecca.
Okay.
Yeah, we work together frequently.
Dope.
She's a producer and actress as well. And yeah, that's the thing. I didn't even know her. I actually knew her because I was in an organization. That's the thing about HBCUs. They have organizations. So I was in this organization called Campus Pals, and they basically put on different events and entertain the freshman class or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that organization is so tight knit. Like we treat it like family.
You need something. You
need something exactly.
You in LA? Call my homegirl. She
yeah,
got a couch you can sleep on.
That's exactly how it happened. So I was connected that way, and then we've been tight ever since. And yeah, so
a lot of my friends have moved to LA, and I feel like that's pretty much at some point they was either all living together, like 5 people in a 4-bedroom, or this one was living with that one. So
right.
What's your advice for people who want to move out to LA today? Is that still, and maybe they don't know, they ain't got no HBCU connections.
Good luck if you don't got connections, but if you don't have any connections, I'd say North Hollywood, Koreatown. Those are probably going to be the most affordable startup places.
Okay.
I moved to North Hollywood when I first moved out there.
Okay.
And it's also it's like the cheapest, but also still relatively nice. North Hollywood is a very nice area. You're not too far from Hollywood. Koreatown is a little dirty. It kind of feels more. It's kind of like city urban vibe. But yeah,
both safe though.
I would say North Hollywood is probably safer.
Safer than Koreatown. Okay. You might get jacked a little bit.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get jacked anywhere.
Anywhere.
So, I mean, I had some interesting run-ins. I ran into a blood once that kind of tried to shake me down in the street. I was frightened, but I just quickly crossed the street. Also had some run-ins with the Crips as well.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually it's funny. It was like a lesbian Crip. I didn't even know that the Crip, was open to all genders. I didn't know they were into diversity and inclusion. But yeah, and she just jumped at me. I just stayed on the other side of the street. I was like, okay. But yeah, it was crazy. I definitely had those experiences. I got punched on the subway once in LA.
Really?
Yeah, I was just waiting on the train. I thought the dude was a blood because I had on an all red a Mecca University crew neck. I have merch for Mecca University. Had on all red. I was just sitting, listen to my music. Next thing I know, this dude punches me, and I'm like, what happens? I run away. I instantly, my first thought, I'm about to run. I don't know if he has a gun or anything.
Right.
Then as soon as I start running, he was like, wait, no, bro, don't run. No, don't run. They told me to punch you. They told me to punch you. I was like, who was they? And then he just ran off. I'm like, I don't know. I think he was like schizophrenic. He was on drugs. I don't know. But
the demons or whatever.
The demons or whatever. And
Yeah,
then he ended up punching this old dude.
Oh, my
And then the
word.
old dude started squaring up with him. But they just squared up for like 5 minutes. And then they didn't do anything. And then the security came and locked them up.
Wow.
That's
LA
true
stories.
True story. Yeah.
So LA is crazy. So everybody lives with each other. You get punched in the face from time to time, but you make it through. So you're now working for BET Entertainment.
Yep. This is this is before I moved there. So BET summer 2015.
Okay.
I'm interning for BET. And that was a great experience. I got to work the BET Awards. Got to do just work on all, basically the whole slate of what they were doing at BET.
So you seeing celebrities.
Seeing all kind of people. And then, so the BET internship is how I ended up getting my first job when I moved there. So I didn't have a job for 3 months when I moved to LA. So I moved to LA in May 21st, today, like literally May 21st, 2016.
Okay.
It's the anniversary. Had no job for 3 months. And then there was this HBCU show that they were making on BET called The Quad.
Yeah.
And they were looking for HBCU people to have in the writer's room. And I became a writer's room PA. And that was my first writer's room gig. I worked
PA means what?
Production assistant.
Okay.
So that's basically, you're just getting lunches, getting groceries, buying supplies, listening in,
What type of money are you making?
It's pretty good money. I think it's probably like, I want to say it was like maybe like $1,200 a week.
Okay.
Like $1,200 a week. It's
That ain't bad.
Not bad, especially to start up in LA. Definitely enough to pay my rent.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
And yes, probably even more now because of the strikes and stuff. They've kind of increased the pay for that. So yeah, that was my first writer's room job. And then basically, that's the thing in Hollywood, writer's room is like the hardest job to get because you can only get that really through knowing somebody. And usually what happens is they just grab the people that they know from the writer's room to the next show. So when you you basically get on with somebody like the creator of the show, and then whenever they get a new show, if you follow them there. So it's kind of like a word of referral type of thing. And
right.
That's
so
kind
it's
of
like everyone's comfortable with who they worked with on the last show. Let's go to
exactly.
So let's speak. How did you get to the Issa Rae? How did you end up working with her?
That wasn't a word of mouth. That was like off of straight skill. So we so after the Quad 2 seasons, they had Insecure had this thing. They had the Insecure on Set contest. And you had to create like a 30-second video pitching why you should be on the show.
Okay.
And so you had to do it with a friend. So me and my friend, we made this 30-second video. We basically recreated an Insecure trailer shot for shot.
Oh.
And, basically demonstrating like why we're good at what we do. And it just like blew up. Like basically there were so many submissions, but this one got like most of the views. It was like very much clearly, it was almost like undeniable. It was like literally the best because most people, they were just like sitting in front of the camera saying, that's what I do. But we actually made a little 30-second film.
Oh,
it got their attention.
Yeah.
We got the job. And this was the best job I've ever had in my life because we got to work in every department. So we weren't just in one station. So we got to be in the writer's room with them.
Wow.
We got to be in casting, wardrobe, on set for every episode.
Really?
So I got to see how they make the show. Then we got to see the editing, the post-production process. We got to go on a director scout. So that was basically like, 'cause I didn't go to grad school. That was my grad school for filmmaking.
Okay.
And that was what gave me all the experience needed to produce the Mecca presentation that I have out. So that's basically the thing, my best project that I have right now that's opened so many doors for me. Issa actually gave us money to help produce that.
Really?
And yeah.
So you know Issa?
Yeah, I know Issa. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I do know Issa. Yeah, we was there every week. I mean, I used to get her Raisinets. That's her favorite candy. She like dark chocolate Raisinets. Yeah, so we would see Issa every day on set. She's an amazing person. Like, oh my gosh, it was that time period felt like I was in heaven. So I worked on Insecure for 2 seasons. The next season, I was actually a stand-in.
What's that mean?
A stand-in is basically so when the actors are not on camera, because they don't want to have the actors standing around, you fill in for the actors so they can like get the cameras right and everything. Okay. So I actually was a stand-in for Issa's brother and for Vince Staples. So Vince Staples was in an episode, the Block Party episode. Yeah. So I got to stand in.
I think I remember that. Yeah. That's super dope. So yeah, this is really cool. So are they paying you pretty good at that point?
Oh, this was great money. So not only did they give us a stipend, we also got paid weekly, and the hours were crazy. This was really great. This is actually how we funded the Mecca. Mecca. So used all the money I made from that to fund the Mecca. Yeah. It was really what I said. Not all the money I made. I actually used. I got a new apartment. I actually got to get some real good footing in LA with that. But we took $5,000 and shot the Mecca on a $5,000 production budget. And then what we did, this is actually a filmmaking hack right here. So we shot the product. We already got it done. And the most people they do like a Kickstarter. They do crowdfunding. Right. And they're like, we raising money so we can help make this movie. We already made the film, and then we made a Kickstarter and said, help us make this film come to life. But because our Kickstarter was, well put together, because we had behind the scenes photos, so you could actually see that this thing exists. Because people aren't going to just invest in something that they don't see that actually exists. Right. So because we already had the product, we raised $10,000. Wow. So basically we made $5,000 back. Wow. So it's basically got a profit. Yeah, that's awesome. Doing that. And then that presentation is a 15-minute film, opened so many doors. We hosted screenings around LA, and basically it got the attention of Erica Alexander, who played Maxine on Living Single. Oh. She has a production company. Oh. They love the product. They got us meetings with several networks in Hollywood. Wow. We got to pitch to TBS, Stars, Hulu, and FX. And that was an amazing experience getting to go into those rooms.
Tevin is the real deal. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Quite. But so, you can already see it.
Yeah, I can already see it. And this is crazy. At the time, it's 2019. 2019 was what, 6 years ago?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
So I'm 24 years old. I'm 24 years old when we're doing this.
Oh, wow.
And pitching my TV show. This is crazy. Like 24 years was crazy pitching your own TV show.
That is
in all these
super
rooms.
Crazy.
And we had everything. It was great, but everybody said no. We actually did.
How did they say no?
That's the thing. It's always like.
Did they do it immediately? Like
no, they don't. No, they don't. What they do is they make you feel like you got it. It's like when you go on a first date with a girl and you're like, oh wow, I had the bet, I had the game. She was laughing at all the jokes I did it, and then she don't text you back. Right. That's what happened. So that was exactly what happened.
So they go silent.
They just go silent. They're like, yeah,
what do they call it? Ghosted.
They'll just create like a political. Oh, it's just not our tone, or we're not looking. They just fine. They basically in Hollywood, they're looking for a reason to say no. They're just looking for any reason to say no. Yeah. But a lot of some like FX actually genuinely had interest. We actually they actually were going to say yes. But they basically was like, I'm only 24 years old. You need an experienced showrunner attached. And so,
what does that mean?
A showrunner is like a
CEO for a business.
Yeah, like a CEO for a business, like the boss. They run
like you the founder, but I want another boss.
They call the shots. So they hire everybody. They make sure everything is in order. Okay. They usually it's the creator. But yeah, and then they needed like a veteran. I basically needed like a Phil Jackson to help orchestrate this whole thing. Yeah. And then we basically had some showrunners attached. But
you had to go find the showrunner that you was comfortable working with.
Yeah. So we had to go out and find him. We met with some good people, but it's kind of like that's kind of like. When you're doing a creative partnership, it's kind of like a marriage, and you have to make sure everything meshes. And there were some creative differences.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go Shannon Cat Williams and tell my Cat Williams stories right now today.
We'll say that for the next episode.
We'll say that for the next time. But creative differences that we didn't get it to work out. And so basically because of that, the deal with FX kind of fell through.
Yeah.
And then it was basically just silent for a long period after that.
Do you have lawyers and stuff involved when you get that close?
Yes. So I was talking to lawyers, like entertainment lawyers. But actually, when I really got to the lawyer process, so basically after the, all round of no's, 2020, we got a yes. So there's this new network that came out, a network called Quibi.
Yeah.
It was founded by the founder of DreamWorks. It was like the short form programming. So basically like
I remember that
3 to 5 minute episodes. Kevin Hart had a show on Quibi.
Yeah.
They had a lot. There was $1 billion network.
Yeah, it had a lot of buzz.
A lot of buzz.
Yeah.
And they went out of business.
Yeah.
And so, but here's the thing. So we actually shared the Mecca online, and that's how they saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually perfect because the way we did the Mecca, we basically put it in like 3-4 minute episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like already fitting their format.
Right.
And so they was like, Tevin, we want you to, write this show. And if you don't need no showrunner, we're going to trust you to write all the episodes. And we're going to, pay you this amount of money. And I'm like, bet, my dreams are coming true. I feel like I'm like getting drafted to the NBA. But also, before this is happening, and we actually talked about this before we got on air about moving and doing something, and then stuff happened. So basically what happened was after everybody said no, it's during the pandemic, I think this is around the time when everybody was getting like them grants from Trump and everything.
Yeah.
Blowing it on cars and stuff.
Yeah. PPEs,
So, the PPPs.
and DDPs.
So what I did was I
BBCs.
actually funded a pilot. So basically when everybody said no, I'm gonna shoot this thing myself.
Oh.
So in the middle of the pandemic, we flew out to DC
Mm-hmm.
and we shot this thing, and actually never going to see the light of day right now as of right now because of different stuff happened with like locations. So we lost locations last minute. Had to make basically. I said we were going to shoot on campus because there were no students. It was the pandemic,
Right.
and then we got kicked off campus. We weren't allowed to shoot it, so we had to find locations. The next day, and we found it, and we actually ended up turning our Airbnb into a dorm room and into like the financial aid office and everything.
Yeah.
And as I was doing this, it wasn't until I made that move and bet on myself, that's when Quibi starts calling.
Really.
And so basically, I at this point, I feel like a real showrunner because like I have to go all the way to DC, hire a whole new crew. We got a whole bunch of grad students that go to Howard and is doing deals, paying people, getting the wardrobe together. We had it was literally set up like Insecure. We had a wardrobe department. We had everything set up. We had the headquarters.
Because that's what you knew.
Yeah, that's what I knew. We had the headquarters at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends, most of our crew, we actually flew in from LA. So we were all quarantined in this Airbnb, making stuff happen. It was an amazing time. And at the same time, I'm taking meetings to, the pitch meetings with Quibi and just to finalize the deal and everything. We finished the thing. I get back to LA. We're in the final stages. They're going to send me the contract. The day they were supposed to send me the contract, I will not forget this. October 20th, 2016, Quibi goes out of business. They're literally supposed to be sending me the contract that day. So the people in Quibi had no idea. It just broke out of nowhere. Like
but you said 2016. You meant it's 2020.
Oh, my bad. 2020. October 20th, 2020.
2020.
Yeah, October 20th, 2020.
They send you the contract and you find out the whole thing is going out of business.
Yep.
So you never get the contract.
I never get the contract. I literally woke up that morning knowing I was going to sign the contract. I was feeling great. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm rich. Like I was already spending money. I'm
rich.
Black people like to spend money before
they get it.
Yeah,
we talk about that a lot on this show.
Yeah.
Do not spend future money that you have not got.
I was already spending the money before I got. I was doing crazy. I was going all over the place. I was doing.
What is a show? What can a show? You don't have to tell us your figures, but what can a show bring people?
So
what does a show cost? When you sell a show, if you're a novice, what do you sell it for? If you've been around Insecure or people that done it, what would you sell it for?
So it goes out from rounds. So this initial deal was just a development deal. Basically, we're just paying you to write the scripts.
Okay.
And so that was an $150,000 deal.
Wow.
Just to write. And then and then what comes with the contract is because I started the Mecca, there was an option contract to star if they want me to star. And then there's the option contract to direct if I want to direct.
So options on top of it.
On top of it. So $150,000 is coming
regardless.
Yeah. And it's kind of like when a label give you the advance.
Yeah.
That's basically what that was.
Yeah.
And then once that's the thing, if you write the scripts and they like that, that's when the real money starts coming in, because when they actually order the show, then you get like the points of ownership for the show, and then you get a check for writing, you get a check for directing, you get a check for acting, and then
Come on, checks.
there's so many checks. And then let's not get into the point if it gets renewed, and then by that time you're in, and if it's successful, that's when you're starting to get into the millions.
Yeah.
I never got that far, so I didn't even get to see the 150,000. So it's basically.
But if you get to that level, then it's like, I don't know, a show like Insecure is probably first season making maybe $1 million, and then the next season maybe $2 million. Does it continue to go up?
Yeah, Insecure is crazy. That was such a popular show in the.
Yeah.
That's like one of those zeitgeist shows, some one of a generation shows that you just always remember.
Yep.
They had 5 seasons, so like it's very much
what would you guess that show made? I guess we could look it up.
There's no telling.
Think 100 million.
As we can see, that it definitely turned Issa to a complete mogul. Like now she has ownership in like a soccer team now. She owns restaurants in LA, she a coffee shop in LA. She's literally become a complete mogul off of this one series.
Yeah, that's dope. Man, we gotta write some movies, y'all.
Yeah, you gotta write some movies.
Let's cut the show. We about to sit here and Tevin and McKenzie and write movies. So this is really cool. So that's dope. And the punch in the face. So what happens the next day? You're crying.
I was so heartbroken. I had never been that depressed in my life.
Who'd you call? What'd you do? Did you pray? Did you smoke a blunt? Did you?
I did all of the things. I tried to smoke it away. I tried to drink it away. Tried to sex it away. Nothing happened. This is crazy. It was dark time.
Was anybody riding that coattail with you? Like your crew, your friends? Like, oh, we about to make it big. He finna sell it. And then would they stay around? Did they disperse?
Yeah, it was like that. That actually did show me like who was really real and who wasn't. Like, because it felt like the weight that was on my shoulders, and just when you see when that type of power is like given to you, see that's how many people are kind of depending on it. Because basically, it's like I now have the power to employ all my friends. Right. So it kind of like weeded out who was trying to show me like who's real, who's really, and then the real ones definitely stayed around. Yeah. And yeah, so I got, very depressed, and I actually got so broke at the time, started working at Chick-fil-A. Because at the time, it's a pandemic, so they're not making any shows. Right. They're not, there's
pause.
No jobs.
Everything's on
pause. So I work at Chick-fil-A.
Back in LA?
Back in LA. I was working at Chick-fil-A. And
how soon does that happen? From the 20th to, I'm going to need to get a job.
So from October to the rest of the year, I was just like, defeated, yeah. And then January 2020 is when I started working for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. So the next year,
2021,
yeah.
Started working for Chick-fil-A, and then I just was struggling to just create. So I would do. That's when I was working on my stand up. So basically, when one thing is down, you just got to work on the other thing. Yeah. And so basically, and then I would I only worked for Chick-fil-A for like a few weeks though, and I took 2 Chick-fil-A checks and a Joe Biden stimulus, and I used that to make another piece that is included in the presentation for the Mecca. Oh, okay. And basically, when I did that, I launched this event where I would screen my work and do stand-up comedy. Yeah. I got this partnership with this space in this Black-owned art studio in LA, in Inglewood. It's called Vacancy Avenue, and I would basically do a monthly comedy show there every month. Wow. And then I would bring up different talent, like bring up different comedians. Also, it wasn't just comedy too. It was like an open mic for artists. So basically, it was rappers, singers, poets, whatever. We would just
curating that space.
Yeah. Just for people to just work on their stuff.
I love how you kept betting on yourself, or you
just got to keep doing it. Yeah. I just got to do it, and then it's so crazy because I'm realizing how I'm working on skills that I'm going to need that I don't even know that I'm going to need, because it was almost like I was in the gym to start lifting and make these things happen. Yeah. And now it's gotten me to this part where I'm now doing this at a real deal level in Charlotte, which we just launched this past weekend, my one-on-one exhibition.
So talk about that a little bit, and we'll get back to how you got back to Charlotte. But when you come here and you start launching this exhibition, what are those skills that you figured out that you say, okay, well, you're curating it in LA, of course I can do it here? Is that was that the plan when you came here, that I'm gonna go to Charlotte and curate this?
Yeah, actually, so the plan to move to Charlotte was very intentional. Okay. So basically I had this idea. I actually was visiting my brother December 2023
Yeah.
for the holidays. He's been living in Charlotte for the longest. And so we were just driving around the city and my spirit just said, move to Charlotte
Yeah.
and start your own film studio
Yeah.
and build it out. And the goal is like essentially what Tyler Perry has in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I want that in Charlotte for myself.
I see it for you.
And that's thank you. And that's the goal. So basically, that was December 2023. And at the time, I was working. It's actually my current job right now. I work in the writers' room for a Netflix show called My Life with the Walter Boys.
Really?
Yeah. And so it's a remote writers' room. So that actually gave me the freedom to kind of like test drive Charlotte. So like
I gotta look that up. What's the name of that
it's
show?
called My Life with the Walter Boys. It is a teen romance drama.
Okay.
Based on a book that was written. It's a YA novel.
Okay.
Called My Life with the Walter Boys.
Okay.
And actually, the girl who wrote it, she wrote this book when she was 15 years old.
Really?
Now she's like, I think she's like 30 now.
Yeah.
But it's a Netflix show now.
That's dope.
But basically, the writers' room was remote. And so I'm going back and forth to Charlotte. So I'm basically living like bi-coastally. So I'm flying to Charlotte every couple of weeks, staying with my brother, just figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
And then I just figure out that's the thing, because I learned to swim in LA.
Right.
And LA is a huge, huge ocean.
Yeah.
And Charlotte is not that huge. So now it's almost like I got that muscle. Now it's like it's so easy to move around here. And I've developed the ability to just reach out to people and just get connection and stuff. So I'm just reaching out. So then I do the Charlotte Black Film Festival.
Okay.
And that was in June 2024. And so when I came out for the Charlotte Black Film Festival, that was when I made the move to Charlotte. I'm like, I'm going to move here. I have a lot of family, so I started staying with family at first, and then worked my way up to getting my own place.
Yeah.
And now we're just here full time. And I was reaching out to I basically reached out to so during the time, so that's the thing, I'm still trying to find a job out in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And I worked at Splatter Charlotte, which is this paint studio.
Okay. I was like, I don't even know Splatter.
Really great place. Actually a great date spot, actually.
Really?
By the way.
Splatter. Great date spot,
Great
everybody.
date spot, great family spot, great team building spot for coworkers. Basically what you do is you go in there and you get a cup of paint, you throw it at the canvas, and you make an abstract piece. And it's really fun. And this is what really kind of opened my eyes to like abstract painting and just being a complete artist, just going with the flow and realizing that, there are no mistakes. There's only happy accidents, and you can make anything into a masterpiece.
Wow, say that again.
No mistakes. There are only happy accidents. And you can turn any of that into a masterpiece, right?
That's awesome.
And so that's when I really started getting into painting, because I was doing that, and I started working at the Mint Museum. I was working at the Mint Museum gift shop, and that gift shop has all these different art books and art history books, and I'm just looking at all these different painters, and I'm like getting inspired. I've always thought in pictures and in visuals. Like the visuals always come, like there might be I might hear a noise and it sparks a visual.
Right.
Or I might see something that sparks a visual. I'm like, how do I execute this? I'm like, oh, just paint.
Yeah.
I've been painting at Splatter, and I've always had like the ability to like kind of draw.
Yeah.
So I just started buying my own canvases, and I just started practicing and I just started doing it one by one, and I just made a whole bunch of art, turned my whole home, my apartment, into an art studio.
Really?
Hella canvases lined up, and which became the pieces that's in my art show.
Wow.
And then I actually did a residency with QC Family Tree, which is a nonprofit organization out here.
Wow.
We actually have an artist talk tonight. Where we're going to be told we had an exhibition, a group exhibition with me and two other artists. Okay. And it's actually at the Arts Factory at Johnson C. Smith right now.
Really?
And yeah. And so I have like 8 pieces over there, and I have the rest of my pieces at Viz Art Video. And so that's when I started putting the painting together. I'm like, oh, I've already been doing stand-up. I've been doing filmmaking. Let's just add painting to this. So I'm going to go create my own exhibition where you get to walk around, view the art, engage with the art. Let's have discussions about the art, and then we'll also sit down and watch a movie, and then I'll come out and try to tell some jokes, make people laugh. And that's what we did on last Friday, and we're going to be doing that again Juneteenth.
That's awesome.
Viz Art Video.
Juneteenth Viz Art Video. Where Viz Art Video at?
Viz Art Video is on Eastway Drive. It is next to a Family Dollar and a shopping center, the Quick Trip. It's very, very nice. This is a dope place. Viz Art Video is a very dope. It's like Blockbuster. It's literally Blockbuster.
Yeah.
They have the largest VHS and DVD collection on the East Coast.
Really?
So you go in there, it looks like you in the 90s. So there's all these VHS titles, and you just gotta go and find the titles.
That's cool.
And then when you go in the back, it's like a whole showroom that has they have art exhibits there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They have a projector to screen movies and stuff, and then it's like they have comedy shows. So it's basically like a comedy club, an art gallery, and a movie theater all in one.
So it's the perfect venue.
It's the perfect venue for me.
Yes.
It was almost like it was like a match made in heaven the way
Right.
that turned out. And so yeah, we have a great partnership right now, and we are going to be running that through August. And yeah, I'm just trying to do my best to make different waves in Charlotte for creatives to come out and connect, meet new people. It's so crazy how I've organically started meeting creatives and people to collaborate with. I already have a really good film team that I've been building out here, and that was one thing I was nervous about because all my other people is back in LA.
Yeah, because you kind of everyone has that skill set, and it's kind of in the country.
Mm-hmm. What I'm realizing, Charlotte has a lot of amazing creatives, a lot of great filmmakers out here.
Really,
and then with the
how are you finding them? How are you connecting with them?
Yeah, so the Independent Picture House, they host these monthly filmmaker meetups, which is basically how we got here today.
Okay.
So every month they have this thing where filmmakers can meet up, they screen a film, and then we can kind of connect and network and find people. And then
how small is that community? Is it?
It's actually pretty big. Like we pack out the theater every month basically.
Really?
I was like, oh, it's a lot of filmmakers out here. So it's really like a packed theater screening room at the Independent Picture House. And lots of different creatives, and basically I would meet them, and then I just start doing stuff, and then you get word of mouth referrals, and I've met so many great people, and now I'm just slowly but surely building my team, and we're making something special out here.
That's super awesome. I really like that.
Actually gearing up to shoot my first short film in Charlotte. So
really. So how long will that take?
I don't know yet.
How do you even sparse something like that out? Is it like you've got to write it first? What's the process?
You got to write it. So you write the film. I have this my next TV show. I finished writing the script in 2022, and I've been sitting on it for like 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, all right, it's time to start making a move on this. Make the next thing. And so I made like a short film version of it. I'm actually doing something very experimental right now. I don't want to talk too much about this because it's evolving as we're doing it.
Right.
But I'm in it. I'm basically like right now, I'm locked in. Like half of my mind is here and half of my mind is on pre-production, and I'm locked in on making something special in a very unique way that I haven't seen it done before. So maybe in the next few weeks we'll be able to, share more. I just don't like the jinx stuff because I was telling everybody named Mama I got a TV show on Quibi. I was running all over the world. I'm telling everybody I got a TV show on Quibi. I'm rich. And then nothing happened. So I'm not trying to cry wolf right now, but just know I'm locked in, and we are working actively on bringing something new into the world.
Yeah, we've met with a lot of different entrepreneurs and people, and I see these themes of you're almost there, back down, almost there, back down. You're there,
right?
You done succeeded, still back down.
It's just highs and lows.
Highs and lows. It's the vicissitudes of life in general, whether it's your personal life or your business or your film or your creativity.
But all that does is create resilience and just builds your stamina to keep going. Because I think if it wasn't for all those failures, especially like with doing that pandemic pilot and the Quibi failure, now I just know way more. I wouldn't have been prepared to be like a showrunner back then. But now that I know what not to do, I'm learning the right ways to go about doing things. So.
Absolutely. That's awesome. When your art, how do you come up with prices for it?
As far as the paintings?
Yeah.
So, that's actually something I'm actually figuring out right now. So at the moment, I only have one piece that's actually for sale. I think I have about 16 pieces up right now. And only one of those is up for sale. It's this Get Out inspired piece.
I like that one. I think I seen it on the site.
Yeah. The name of the piece is actually called Never Put a Nigga in a Box. And actually, that's I feel like I'm low blowing myself right now because I have it listed for $1,000. And I think it might be worth more than that. I don't know. So I kind of want to just like see how much do you think is worth, but also like right now I'm kind of like sitting on the pieces because I also have this thing where I want to put some of my pieces in the films.
Right.
And I think I'm going to put that painting in the film.
Right. Which will, of course, once the film blows and goes.
Exactly. That creates more value for the painting.
Creates more value.
So it's like, I don't even feel like I should even sell it right now. So like, I'm really just, this like painting is I'm very much a baby in the painting art world, but because I have so much experience as a filmmaker and storytelling, I'm just trying to figure out how I can use my painting to funnel into the filmmaking and just make all these things work together. And I think I'm slowly but surely figuring it out.
When you do the art show on the 10th, on Juneteenth, which is June 19th of this year at that spot, when does it start? How will it be? Is it just, do you literally have to do everything? Will you have some folks to help you kind of?
I think I'll have some more folks this time. I had some help like this. The Viz Art staff helps me out. I think as we continue to grow, we're going to need a lot more help.
Yeah.
Because, this first one was a solo exhibition as far as seeing my works and then my film and then the stand-up set. This next one, we're going to try to add 2 more comedic acts. So I'm not the only comedian. And I'm hoping to premiere new filmmaking stuff as well there. So
I got a buddy who's a comedian too. I should probably connect y'all.
And then what I'm realizing though is because this is my first, because I would curate a lot of stuff in LA where it would be like a bunch of different artists coming together. And this one is a solo exhibition. And what I'm realizing is because I have so much work, I've now developed enough work to have like a 2-hour show where it's just me.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And I'm like, oh snap, I didn't know I had this much program that I could entertain people for 2 hours and it's just my stuff.
Yeah.
So now I'm just trying to figure out how to probably need like a host. So I don't have to be, because I'm running around trying to do all this other different stuff. So like a host, and then somebody who could, warm up the crowd, do like, internal, entry stand-up set. Yeah. And then introduce the work, and then I'll come out and, we'll just have the show. So it starts at 7, usually goes from 7 to like 9:30.
Yeah. I think that's awesome though, because what I hear is, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, and we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and business people on the show, you have to do things yourself first.
Yes.
When I think about like where our business has started to develop to now, like even showing you the cars on Turo, like I was doing all that stuff myself 4 years ago. And now I'm hard pressed. I haven't washed a car in over 2 years.
Wow.
But it started that way.
Right. If you build it, they will come.
Right.
Yeah. So when they see the tire moving, people are going to come back and keep pushing it. So yeah, even after the last show, I got more people that's going to be helping me. So every time I do something, I get more people to come in and help and join on the movement. So you just got to keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Which goes to what you said off camera and what you said a moment ago. If you start moving first, then I forget the way you said it, but it was, if you start moving first, it's
you gotta start moving, and then the action's gonna come. Like this is gonna come. I forgot how I said it as well.
It was wonderful though, but it's like if you get in motion, it's like that success and all the things you're looking for. You can't wait for the show to hit you up. You can't wait for Quibi to contact you to, all right, now I'm gonna write my movie.
Basically, the way I'm realizing how this world works, like it's almost like it's like an energetic thing where it's like the universe kind of responds to what you do. So if you do this is going to happen. So it's like we are like we're co-creating this universe, and the way you keep pushing ideas forward, that's just going to get more people to like, oh, I'm going to help push this idea forward. So it's kind of like somebody has to be the first domino to fall. Yeah. And once that domino falls, everything lines up.
How important has it been for you to jump around, move around? Obviously, you left Charleston, went to DC, left DC, went to LA, left LA, came to Charlotte. Like,
we actually had a European stint in between that too.
Really?
Yeah. I think moving around is very important. So I studied at BADA in London. That's the British American Drama Academy.
Wow.
I studied in London, and then we also went to Greece and Oxford. I love Europe. Europe is so dope, by the way. Definitely recommend everybody to go to Europe. Especially just being black in Europe is dope. Just the black. First of all, the black Europeans are so cool.
Yeah.
But you could tell how they're different from us. Like they don't have that trauma.
Yeah, that trauma we walking around with.
Even that's the thing. Racism is everywhere, but they're a little nicer over there.
Yeah. No, I love that. And so that's been super important for you. So the Mecca, this project, how long did you work on that?
Oh, so I wrote the very first draft of that script for a screenwriting class as a sophomore at Howard in 2013.
How long did that take?
That took about a whole semester to write.
So about 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months. Sat on it, kept figuring it out, and then 2016, that became my primary mission. When I moved to LA, it's let's figure out how to do this. So I reworked that script, redeveloped it, And then I actually I got the mentorship of Lena Waithe, who is a writer, producer, actor. She's the creator of The Shy on Showtime. She created 20s. She's acted on Master of None. This is before she had all of that, though. I got her mentorship, and she paid for writing classes for me to,
Really?
workshop the script.
Really?
And then we got the script workshopped.
Talk about that slightly. So workshopping the script and getting writing classes. How long do these classes last?
Right. So it's about I think they're about
What are you?
3 hour writing class. It's kind of like a
Ooh,
college
that's
course.
long.
Yeah, 3 hour, 3 hour writing class. You're in a small group. It's like 8 of us. We all have our scripts. We're workshopping it, learning like the format of how to do it. We get these documents to how to structure the things. Then we're giving feedback on each other's work and giving us notes and stuff. It's very much felt like another like master. It's honestly like a college level, advanced college level type of writing class. And we did that. This a lot of Hollywood writers actually, do this out in Hollywood. They have these writing classes and stuff and workshops to, make the work better. And so for 3 months, we got that workshopped and then got that to a great place. Right now we're in, so this is 2017. So from 2013 to the first script to end of 2017. So that's about a 4-year process of getting the script to that place.
Wow.
And then from after 2017, I took it to another place. That's the thing. As you continue to grow, you think about the world differently. You learn new stuff. So you're going to want to update the work. So then I did the 2018 draft.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2018 draft, that's probably that 2018, 2019 draft, that's the draft that we sent to all the networks. That's the draft that Quibi bought.
Okay.
And now I'm working on the 2025 draft. So we're talking 12 years.
Yeah. Of working
on this.
That's unbelievable.
That's like going through high school.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And so what makes a script good? I mean, what are you what are the type of edits? Is it like, hey, make them laugh here instead of talk? Let's go to silence here. Like, is it literally that nuanced?
And then, like, writing is very trendy because when you see scripts, like, the number one thing about a great script is it has to have a unique voice. Don't write it like you're writing a book. Write it like you're talking to somebody. Like your voice has to shine through. Like that's the thing. I didn't even know that until I learned that from Lena. Lena's scripts. It was like, oh my gosh, she's talking very black in these scripts. Like she's calling she's saying different words and stuff. Just talking slang as she's describing the characters. It's not like this. The river just flows and all that. There's scripts that does that as well, but she's talking to you like I'm just telling a story to my homegirl or something.
So when you describing that character, you're really, so even before they get into whatever the character gonna do,
right?
You're really creating that person.
Right. I wish I could pull up the script for the Mecha so I could just give you a sample of like how I'm describing the character. So it really gives you an idea of like, oh, this is a nigga writing this script. Like, he's really not really
right.
Yeah, you're just talking like telling a story, telling your friends a story.
Yeah.
And that's how that's I think the best things about having your unique voice. And then obviously it has to be a great story. Has to be a good script is a good script within the first 3 to 5 pages. Okay. Most Hollywood people, if they have not gotten you haven't gotten their attention within the first 5 pages, they usually just toss it. Yeah. And I get bored very easily myself, so I'm always trying to find new ways to make a script very engaging. I actually wrote my first feature film script when I moved to Charlotte. It's 120 pages, but I tell everybody it's the fastest 2 hours you'll ever read because I wrote it specifically for people who have ADHD, who have trouble focusing. Okay. It's very quick and fast, and I'm actually in the process of getting to the point where I can produce my first feature film. Wow. And one of the paintings that I created that's currently at the exhibition right now is in line with that movie. The painting is called The Birth of Ocean Green. Ocean Green is the protagonist of the movie I wrote. The name of the movie is called Which One? And that's all I can share about that right now. But the painting is up at VisArt. It's a 6 feet by 5 feet painting. So it's like basically like that whole wall basically. Wow. And it's a reimagining of this classic art piece called The Birth of Venus, which is like this classic painting, one of the most famous paintings in the world.
So you also grabbing inspiration from history from learnings and all that. But 120 pages is about
2 hours. So basically, it's a page a minute. One page is equals to 1 minute of screen time.
Okay.
Give or take. So 120 pages is about 2 hours.
And that's how you know if anybody's out there trying to write a movie, that's how you know if you got one, at least in terms of length. We don't know if it's good or not, but at least you know 120 pages is about what you need.
Right.
And when you're trying to keep it engaging, are you using comedy? Are you using
definitely? Comedy's always
cliffhangers.
Been my strong suit. Just making stuff very, very dramatic and comedic. Trying to heighten up the the drama as much as possible. Starting the story, starting every scene with something exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And so always definitely trying to do jokes. Always trying to do like bizarre scenes that you've never seen before. So I'm really I think I'm good at that. Just doing things that you just haven't seen before on TV.
Yeah, no, that's good. Where do you think the industry of film, of creativity in today's world is at?
It's changing. It's evolving every day. Like Hollywood is not the same. They're not making stuff as fast as they were. They're trying to figure out how to make money because there's so many things are taking our eyeballs away. We have so many streaming platforms, and you got people creating all this content on Instagram. Most kids don't even want to sit down and watch a whole movie.
Right.
You got podcasts. People are sitting down and watching podcasts. That's the thing. I will sit and watch a 3-hour Joe Budden podcast before I watch a TV show on Netflix or something. Yeah. There are some great shows coming out that have come out recently. I've been watching Forever on Netflix. That's a really good show.
I wanted to watch that. It's on my life is just in such a way where I feel like my answer to my question, if I was you, is like, it's so many shows out.
So many shows.
It's like I can't even consume it.
Exactly.
It's like I've literally gotten lost. I remember back in the day, it's like, okay, I'll watch this, I don't know, Power. I'll have time to watch Power. But then it became 7 different Powers.
Exactly.
And it's like, I don't have time to watch all these.
I still haven't finished Ozark, and that was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
But I think between Forever and Sinners, I think there's like they opened up a portal.
A new lane.
There's a new portal that's opening right now.
We still ain't seen Sinners. We got little.
Y'all still ain't seen Sinners?
We got little babies.
I'm
though.
scared now because I feel like if you ain't seen Sinners at this point, you a vampire. You gotta be a vampire. No, but Sinners is incredible. That was the best movie experience I've had in years.
Top 5 movies.
My top 5 movies. Ooh, all right. This is my top 5 favorite movies.
Okay.
I don't like people who have them pretentious, cinematic classic movies. I like movies I think a great movie is a movie that you can watch again and again and again.
Yep. Okay.
So I would just have that disclosure part to give you my top 5. So my top 5: Social Network.
Okay. I like that one.
Friday.
Like that one.
Love and Basketball.
Yep.
Space Jam.
Okay.
Space Jam. Let me give you another dope movie so y'all cannot think I'm basic. What's my 5th one? Set It Off.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I did like all black movies except for Social Network.
Yeah, you real black in here and we love it.
Yeah. But I would say those movies kind of shaped my identity in the sense of how I watch. Like Space Jam, I believe, is probably the first movie I was exposed to. Like I just remember I had this vivid memory of as being a kid having Space Jam on VHS and watching it all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I put that in there. Also, huge basketball fan. Michael Jordan, amazing.
Yeah.
Friday was probably the next one. My big brother introduced me to that, and that movie is like timeless. Like
it is timeless.
You could watch it over and over. It never gets old. I think Friday and Coming to America are the funniest movies ever.
Yeah.
I should have put Coming to. You can't.
It's
top
hard.
5 is hard.
Top 5 is hard.
Friday was amazing. Love and Basketball is the movie that made me want to make movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that movie, and I know like these days, I don't know what like the new generation, they're trying to trash it or whatever. They're trying to have all these different theories.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm not aware
about Love and Basketball.
See, Mackenzie don't like it.
Why don't you like it? They just don't like the fact that the woman really went that hard for her man and had to play him 1-on-1, got her ass bust, and still got the man in it. They just don't like the way he treated her.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great story.
I think it's a great story too.
I love loving basketball, and also I'm a huge basketball fan. So like,
I like how it spanned time in that movie.
Exactly.
And there was like this. It gives you these points of like, I don't know. Once you have lived kind of in retrospect, it's like, man, time really does happen kind of like that.
Yeah, and the way that you kind of like sometimes you have to like grow apart from somebody and then you come back together and realize everything.
Yeah.
And I also love romance movies. I love romantic. I don't think Love and Basketball is a comedy or romantic comedy, but I love romantic comedies. That's actually a genre that I want to heavily take part in.
Yeah.
Bringing back those great Black love movies, like The Best Man, Love Jones. And then Love and Basketball is one of those.
Yeah.
My favorite, also When Harry Met Sally is probably one of the greatest rom-coms ever. And I just want to bring that type of thing back.
Yeah.
But yeah, Love and Basketball, and then Set It Off. Me and my mom watch that all the time. That there's something just amazing about that film, just the way, just this great story, this
Set It Off.
woman-led story about these 4 women robbing banks.
That was pretty cool.
Amazing.
That was
Queen Latifah's death scene at the end never gets old.
Right. How important do you think it is to Dead Presidents is a good one. How important do you think it is to do stuff that works? Robberies work.
Right.
Seemingly. I heard can't think of his name, but the black guy that owns the Weather Channel, I heard him say that shark stories like work. And so when you think about,
I think true stories work.
Yeah.
Authentic true stories work. And I think that is where the most of my stuff comes from. It comes from an honest place. It comes from lived experiences.
Yeah.
And you have to write what you know. And I think everybody has a compelling story. You just got to figure out how to tell it.
Yeah.
And so I think telling an authentic story that's very specific, because specificity is universal, is get as specific as you possibly can. And that's going to appeal to so many people. A lot of people like the bad movies are those movies that try to appeal to everybody. They go in trying to appeal to everyone instead of just appealing to what their niche is.
What you really, really, truly know.
Right. And
that's what's interesting.
Yeah, like even like a movie like Fridays. Friday's a niche. It's very niche to our community. It's
very niche.
Like you don't, but it became such a
classic.
Yeah. And that's what you got to do. And I think that's my process. And I think everything I write is like that. And the things that I'm writing now are like so specific. I'm probably going to have to get in witness protection. So specific, yep.
So a little bit more about the business and then we'll wrap up. I know we're going a little long, but this is so interesting to me because one, movies are for our family, it's like it was the known pastime. I grew up in a very religious family. So being able to like not be so stern or hear a cuss word was mostly through the movies. Because my parents didn't cuss, didn't drink, didn't do none of that. So when those pastimes are like very, I don't know, it's just like nostalgic and important. And so I guess my question for you as we try to dive into this, I'm curious about the more business side of it. When you are, as you think about your next thing and how you're going to approach trying to, once you hit that next level, from a business standpoint, I mean, how do you think you're going to do it? You're going to create the movie and then just start cold emailing people, trying to find some of those old contacts for Hulu, for FX. You're going.
Well, like, I mean, I have got to a point where I have enough contacts where I can really just directly send something to somebody and be like, "Hey, this is this."
So you got the contacts.
I have the.
You just need the product.
I just need the product. So it's really just about creating the product. But I'm also still about. That's the thing. The whole thing about if you build it, they will come. So everything that I've gotten is from building the product and just the people come out of nowhere. Like I didn't reach out to Erica Alexander.
Yeah.
That happened just organically. And I think if you just, buckle down, put the work in, something's going to happen. So even with this next project, I'm not sure how we're going to get it made, but I just know if I just make this next thing, put it out, somebody's going to, connect with it, and then we're going to go from there.
Do you even have time to like look for investors or like?
I actually don't. And I had that phase where I would like just keep doing that. I actually don't like the process of like reaching out to people because it's like I'm wasting my time. Like,
I could be
doing all
making
that.
something versus
I could be
trying
making
to
something versus you trying to
raise 100,000 to do my feature film. It's like they're almost a dichotomy. So do you think every filmmaker should one, not focus on it all, focus on the creative, focus on the authenticity, or have a manager, and I don't know how it works.
People should have a manager. I don't have any representation right now, but it's always great to have like if you have somebody on your team, if you're an entrepreneur, there should be a dedicated person who's playing that managerial role. They're the one that's reaching out, making all these things,
handling the business
handling
part.
all this business part.
Yeah.
While the creative should just make the creative.
Yeah.
But every creative, I think also that we're in this age where, we're not focusing on making things good. We're just trying to
make stuff
fast and get it out and make sure it's seen.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question too, is how do you think that's a strategy of just, let me just produce 1,000 things and one of them will hit?
It could work. It depends. Like some it works. It depends on what it is. Cause even like, that's the thing, everything I've made has kind of been on a slow cooker.
Yeah.
But
and done right.
Done right. Yeah. Okay. And I think I may have figured out how to do the fast but slow thing. And that's actually the journey I'm actually embarking on. As soon as I leave the studio, you guys will embark on this journey with me because I'm about to do something I have not seen before.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it. And I think it's going to, satisfy the need to just be seen, or like you see the stuff, but also we're still taking our time and making things.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, because I've heard like Tyler Perry will make a movie and like the Taraji movie, they said he shot that in 4 days.
Wow.
And they just quickly put it out.
Wow.
And that was super fast.
Yeah.
We'd have to get into the quality of his work or anything, but I figured out a way to make something great in a faster than usual way, but it's still not going to be fast because I feel like it's still going to be like a year process. But I figured out a way to deliver it to people and make sure that I'm feeding people. So
okay, I like that. Who are your Tyler Perry's, your Spike Lee? Who are your
directors?
Yeah, who are the people you're like looking up to? And do you feel like have you been disappointed with any of them, like a Tyler Perry?
I like Donald Glover.
I like Donald too.
I like everything he does.
Is Donald, he does so much.
Yeah, he does it all.
So he's a do-it-all.
Yeah,
He'll play, sing, direct, write. Okay.
Yeah. It's called auteurs, and that's actually what I like to refer to myself. I'm an auteur. An auteur is a filmmaker whose influence is so heavy on every aspect of the production that they're basically regarded as the author of the work. So they're kind of like, it's kind of like Kanye West making an album, how he's producing, he's rapping, he's bringing everybody in together. Yeah, those are auteurs. So like a Donald Glover, Issa Rae does that. But I love obviously Ryan Coogler. He got it right now. Spike Lee definitely. Martin Scorsese. Oh, Wolf of Wall Street is in my top 5. I should have said that. Wolf
top
of Wall
6.
Street. Yeah, top 6. Yeah.
What's your, as we start to wrap up, what is your advice to young filmmakers, young artists, young comedians, young creatives, young auteurs?
Take your time. I know we live in this society now where you just gotta be seen. Just take your time with your work. Make sure it's good. Make sure you can stand on it before you put it out. Don't just say, if you're going to put something out, don't put it out because I just want people to see it and comment and like on it. Can you stand on this? Is this something that you would be proud of? Because if not, then don't put it out. Like I have stuff that I have shot that I have not put out, which is crazy for a filmmaker because like you put a lot of money. Like I spent $40,000 on a project that I'll probably never show anybody.
Because you didn't like the result?
I didn't like it. It didn't match the quality of what I wanted it to be. So I'm like, all right. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blow money like that again. I've learned how to strategically do it, but also learn how to write. Most people don't know how to write. And writing, everything starts on the page. Yeah. If you can know how to write, everything else will take care of itself from there.
What would you advise for people that don't have contact with Lena or Issa.
Read scripts. You can Google, read some of your favorite scripts. So if there's like a TV show you like or a movie you like, just Google the name of it, script PDF. Like you can read like the pilot script for Atlanta. You can read the pilot script for Insecure if you just Google it. You can read Do the Right Thing. You can read all these scripts. All the information is out there. Just read those scripts, see how they flow, see how they, broke down the characters and told the story. And then try to, pattern yourself of that and just find your own voice within that.
Best advice you got from somebody famous or somebody that everybody would know?
I was just talking to a friend about this the other day. When I was working on Insecure, Issa told me something. Basically, she said, because the thing about it is like, we want like somebody to, champion our work. We want somebody to, invest in our work, help us
put us on.
And it's like, and what we'll do is we'll like become like a slave to their idea was good to the point where we're just trying to appeal to them or try to make what they want. And it's like, one person is not going to change your destiny. One person is not in control. No matter how much power you think they have or how famous they are, they can't control what you're doing. So you don't have to like try to just appeal to this person because this person has their own career. They have their own life. They're not really thinking about that. So like really just like find your voice and eventually it'll happen. So you don't have to be like, I got to get put on by this person. Like everybody, we live in the church. It's almost like we don't even trust watching something if it's not by something that we already know or like if it's not co-signed by somebody else.
Right.
And so we've gotten so much into that we are like, oh, I need this person to like this so that they can tell people to like this.
Right.
You don't have to do that. You need to like it, and the right people who identify with it will like it, and then you'll get the cosign you want.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's
if you never get the show, if it never comes, and I totally believe it will, so I'm not trying to speak anything negative, but will you feel like this was a good use of your time,
Absolutely.
your life?
Absolutely. And I think now I've kind of reached I think I've surpassed my failure threshold in the sense of like I've become strong enough and immune to the failure now to the point where like you're not going to stop me now. Like if that Quibi and all that stuff that happened these past few years, if that didn't kill me, oh, y'all definitely not getting rid of me now. And so it's like I used to have fears of like, oh my gosh, this might never happen. And now I've believed more than ever that it is going to happen. But even if it doesn't, which even that's not going to happen, but
right.
I have so many ideas now that it doesn't matter. Like I feel like I'm limitless with creativity now. And I think moving to Charlotte actually really freed me from that cage that like LA and Hollywood put me in. And now I feel like the ideas and the opportunities are endless. Like I have so many ideas that I want to make happen.
And what do you mean? What was the cage? That sort of appealing to somebody else?
It's the whole appeal. It's almost like you have to kind of conform to what the businesses want. Because I'm outside of the business now, I can now get free to have my own mind and my own ideas. Whereas in Hollywood, it's like a business. So you're like, we got to package it like this. We got to do it this. The trend is this. We want to have this type of movie. Like everybody else thinks.
So everyone starts writing towards that.
Exactly. It's like Hollywood is like it's like a dick riding industry where it's like, all right, Sinners came out. We have vampires. All right, we need to find that. Like we're going to do dragons next. Like who's going to, so that's what people do. Like, even like when Get Out happened, it's like, now we got to find like this new horror thing.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's trying to like find whatever is hot. They just go over that. And then the industry realizes that's not how it works. This is hot because this was unique. Yours is not going to work because you're just trying to follow this.
Yeah.
So now make your own story. And I kind of got caught into that. And I was literally in Hollywood, like trying to make this very specific kind of movie that just was not working because I was just trying to make it towards the industry.
Yeah.
I moved to Charlotte and the box just completely opened. And now I can I can breathe. I can see from a different perspective.
Yeah.
From a bird's eye view. And now I can really just tell my most authentic stories. And the air is amazing out here. So is the traffic.
Yeah, a lot better.
A lot better than LA.
Than LA. No, that's great. I think that's all my questions. I could talk to you for another hour.
Absolutely.
Because I love this creativity. I think it very much aligns with business, entrepreneurship, and the journey. Your journey, the ups and downs. Like I said, I just keep seeing it.
Right.
And everyone thinks that their story is unique, and their story is unique, but the obstacles you face, that's why it's a formula, because people can see, like, it starts back in the Bible. You have this, go through obstacles, you get to your goal, you know, or you don't. It's one of those two, but it's like, if you keep going, more than likely you win.
Right.
Then you just got to keep going.
The Bible has some great stories too, by the way.
It really does.
And I think you could do a lot with just like retelling those stories in like a more, you know, modern context. That's a great thing.
That is a great idea. What's the last thing you would look in that camera and just final thoughts for the people from Tevin Scott? Tell them how to find you. Give me your final thoughts.
Yeah. So you can find me everywhere, but really just Instagram, Real Tevin Scott. That's the only thing I'm really active on, Real Tevin Scott. I have a art exhibition called One of One. It's at VisArt Video in Charlotte. It's running through August, and we have a monthly showcase every month where we're going to deliver you films, art, and comedy. Our next show is on Juneteenth. Please come to that. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. You can get the tickets at tevinscott.com or in my Instagram link in bio or at visartvideo.org. So yeah, please come to that exhibition and be on the lookout for more stuff. And yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Tevin, it's been a pleasure, man. Until next time, we only ask y'all to do one thing, or two things this time. Visit the exhibition on June 19th and stay motivated. It's your boy, StephenMotivate. Peace.